Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. Sorry about being a couple minutes late here. I have a new. I'd gotten this cable that I was plugging into the back of my PlayStation. So I have bad internet in my house, and I have to take an Ethernet and run that from my. It's not my house. It's my apartment. From this apartment that I rent, because it needs like new wiring, but the owners they're not going to do that. So I have to run an Ethernet cable from the modem, which is in my bedroom, like up into my loft, which connects into my PlayStation. Otherwise, my PlayStation won't work. And then from there, I have this setup just on the other side of the little loft here that I made when we got into the lockdown part of COVID, where, well, that's when I got the Ethernet too, but where now I have my desk turned so I can have this background behind me and so I can face the TV. So I have another cable, an Ethernet cable that runs around the wall up here to connect. So I have to like unplug the one behind the TV into my PlayStation and plug it into the connector to make it work for this. So I really should have gotten a splitter and then another like 1 foot Ethernet cable really would have been the solution. But I got this other thing that was like a plug, and then it has like 3 Ethernet cable plugs in it, and that doesn't work because it has to be plugged in the source, I guess. I thought it was just going to work as a bypass so I could plug in the PlayStation and then have the 2 cords connect, but thought I could outsmart the machines, and the machines outsmarted me. So, whatever. Long story short, I'm like trying to make this all work as fluidly as humanly possible is basically the whole point of this. Also, if you can't hear me or anything like that, please feel free to speak up. I think I've got it all like set up correctly, but I never know. So I think I finally have gotten this Super Nintendo thing down, and I had gotten a converter for my composite cable, but apparently they actually make, it's third-party software, but they make like a plug now that you can plug into the back of a Super Nintendo or an N64, and it'll be a USB out, so you don't have to deal with it. So I think I'm going to order one of those and see if the connection's a little better, because some games, like when I connected Super Mario World, we haven't seen that. When I was playing Super Mario World, it was on my little Super Nintendo Classic I have right over here. But when I was testing out the actual Super Nintendo, like the original Super Nintendo, not this one, some of the games are coming up washed out. But when I played Aladdin, it was fine. So I don't know. I think that is either like a cable connection problem, where like, I think the cables are kind of going, because if I touch them, it'll like go away. So so I think that's my next step is going to be to get one of those to see how it works, because I think maybe the composite cable is dying in the back, so I might as well like upgrade. But we'll see. It's just all part of the process, little bits in here, just something to keep me going. I just like doing this stuff to see if I can do it. Is partly why I do it, you know. Plus I think it's fun, and it gives me a reason to be like, okay, settle down and do some of this stuff, like playing these video games. That today we will be playing the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game for Super Nintendo. I did not have this game when I was a kid, so this was a later in life purchase within the last 7 years, I believe. Whenever I got the Super Nintendo, this was like a priority, because I was like, I never had that when I was a kid, so I want it now as an adult, and I'm going to play it all, and I haven't. So here we are. But earlier this week, Hasbro did a like a fan live stream, and they talked about some like product reveals, but they also had some reveals in regards to the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. For those of you who don't know, Power Rangers started in 1993, and it's pretty much been on the air since then. So it's having its 30th anniversary. 30th season will start this year, later in the year, called Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, and I'm very excited for that, because it's going to be the first season where they have like original suits. They're not pulling from the Sentai footage other than the Zord footage, and it's continuing a story from Power Rangers Dino Fury, which I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. It's one of the best I've seen in the last like 15 years. So easily in my top like 5 of Power Rangers series. But they showed us some cool, fun stills, which actually, you know what? I think I have the ability to like share those with you, because I have them all loaded up on my desktop. So let me see if I can kind of remember how to do that. I apologize, because it probably won't come up. It probably won't come up Oh, there we go. It's all loading them all. Anyway, so these were from Entertainment Weekly, as you can see from the watermark here. But this was a little like some stills of the 30th anniversary, which I am just like super excited about. Hold on oh, they're all like on the screen right now. I can't remember. Hold on. I know how to do this. I just lost the window to be able to do it for a second here because my thing is not cooperating, my layout here. But this one is of the original Blue Ranger, David Yost here, Walter Jones, and then this young lady is going to be playing Trini's daughter, because if you don't know Choi Trang, she passed away in 2001, sadly. Yeah, I legit just did this, and now I cannot for the life of me. There we go. Okay. Then this is the whole. We got Steve Cardenas, who was the Red Ranger that took over for Austin St. John, and funny enough, was never on screen with Walter Jones ever actually. And then Catherine Sutherland, who took over for Amy Jo Johnson, who was actually only the Pink Ranger, I think, for about 10 episodes of the original series. So. But I am a big fan of Catherine, Zeo Pink and Turbo Pink as well. And then these shots just look gorgeous. Like these morphers, oh my god. I think they're like, I don't even think those are the Legacy morphers. I think that's the 93 like toy with a metal thing on it. But oh my god, I just can't wait to watch them all morph. Look at it. Look at them together. Also, can we peep that little cut on Billy's lip right there with some bruising on the forehead? Very cool. And then this was the, oops, I have it sized incorrectly, but this was the Cosmic Fury suits here that they had a reveal, and then we got to see them in person anyways. But so fun, lots of fun times in the fandom, so that's kind of where I'm at with the Power Ranger stuff right now. That's why I was like, oh, this will be a lot of fun, let's play this game. So I'm going to do it. I'm cracking open a beer today. I was going to make a cocktail, but I think I'm going to have a cocktail video on the channel for tomorrow. I think I'm going to call it like Sunday Spirits, and I'm going to like every Sunday publish it. Don't hold me to that though, because Lord knows I can't commit to things like that. But I got it's downstairs, or I'd show you. It's Death & Co. has 2 cocktail books, and I have both of those now. And then also Trey, who's in this chat, I see you, Trey. He got me a cocktail book too that has some fun recipes in there that I want to try. So I'm like going through and sorting a list and taking an inventory of what I have so that I can make drinks based around all the stuff that I have on my bar to drink through my bar. But yeah, Kim has said something to me. Oh, Kim's watching. Hello, Kim. Sorry. Hello, all the people in here. Kimberly, Scott, Steve, Disney, Shield. You look just like my friend Arturo in that photo. Hello, Terry, Trey. We got Texas found in here. So I am drinking. Brandon, don't tell Amelia about this live stream. Now, Rafi, hello. I said hello to you, I feel like, in the beginning. But I'm having one of my Treehouse beers. As you know, I'm trying to drink through it while they're still nice and fresh. This one is called, I've never had this one. This one is yellow. I actually had wanted to split this with my friend Kim because I got this because her favorite there is green. So the yellow is a rendition of green featuring pineapple puree. This addition serves to thoughtfully amplify the pineapple-like characteristics of the base beer. In the glass, it pours a glowing yellow color and carries the flavors and aromas of overripe pineapple, pineapple gummies, pina colada, and citrus. This sounds delicious. It's a shining example of what is possible with delicious and simple ingredients paired with refined brewing expertise. Enjoy. American IPA, 7.5 we're looking at. Brewed in Charlton, Massachusetts. I don't ever know if I'm saying that right. But you guys know, see, look, I always have a morpher right behind me here. So they were actually saying, not to get back to the Power Ranger thing, but because Catherine Sutherland was only in 10 episodes of Mighty Morphin as Cat, and then obviously she was in all of Zeo as, she was the Zeo Pink, and then she was in the first half of Turbo with the rest of the cast. But she's never used, technically, the pterodactyl coin, because even though the suits were the same, the Dino coins were destroyed, I believe, at the beginning of season 3. So, like, you know the movie with, like, Ivan Ooze? That doesn't exist within continuity of the show. That is a spin-off. Like, that's a separate universe, separate tale. So on the show, They did get ninja powers though, like it was called different. It was like the Ninjetti. But so when they would morph, then it would say they would say Red Ranger power, Blue Ranger power. So but we never, television in the 90s. Oh, to all you young people out there, you couldn't. It wasn't as sharp and crisp as you could see. So, Lord knows, my guess is it was that power coin because they were still dinosaurs on them. I just assumed it re-energized the same coin. Hello, that's why their helmets are all the same helmet still. Why would Billy have a Triceratops helmet and a wolf coin? And I know that we have the coins, like they've released the coins in the movies because I have them on the shelf over there. But those are from the movie. Because in the movie, they had those coins in their chest, so that's what the coins were in the Morpher. I'm being a nerd. Some nerds are too picky is what I'm saying, basically. I wouldn't have had a second thought about it, to be honest. So today, I'm actually drinking out of my treehouse glass. This is one of the 2 glasses I got here. Isn't this cool? I don't have another glass like this. It's like a mini Stein. Or a regular-sized Stein. Also, I wish I didn't just inhale so much of that, the foam here on the top. I don't know what I was about to call this, but I've delayed for a while here. I have the television muted. Today I'm going to try and keep the TV really low so like I don't have to put headphones on because, I don't know. I feel like it makes me deaf to the world and I'm the only one. If my dogs bark while the murderer comes up the stairs, I want to make sure I can hear him, just for good measure. Say hello, how are you, sir, today? You here to murder me. So I'm going to pop over. We're going to go to the screen here, so I'm going to unmute it so we can hear it, because I think what's cool is what's crazy to me is, like, you can hear them singing the Go-Go Power Rangers, like, theme song from the show. Man, it's so blown out. I wonder if there's a way I can fix this. But it looks like this on my TV, too, so it's not like this connection. I really do think it's sort of like a, can I lower the brightness? I really do think it's like maybe a cable connection. Oh, Jason? No. Sorry. It used to be very like Jason, but they all, it's one of those things where you're like, don't meet your heroes. You're like, oh, because I don't know. My experiences with them are fine. Oh, gosh. Okay. I don't know why it's only adjusting my camera photo. So let me do this. Hold on. Bear with me. Oh my, maybe I'll just leave it. Let me see if I can lower this a little bit. I feel like it's just I don't know if it's going to work. Bump up the saturation, pull down the brightness maybe a little. I don't think that's doing it. Anyway, we'll just play like this. I'm sorry it looks like this. I'll keep working on trying to get a better connection here. Okay, I think I'm going to play as Billy, just because. Gay pride. Although Billy wasn't gay on the show, but, just the actor. Like I said, I never had this game when I was a kid, but I did play it over my friend Steven's house. Shout out to Steven Cudworth. And I remember it playing like a Ninja Turtle game. Look at Billy's. Look at Trini. Oh god, Trini's cool. Billy's doing a weird squat thing, sassy. It's funny to me because these are all like their outfit. I'm gonna do Billy. I'm gonna be Billy. And then if not, I'm gonna be Trini. Trini. I don't think this game saves because I have played it since I bought it. I played it like once. Okay, so we got a punch. Oh my god, this feels aggressively rude to like how Billy was. Like, okay, he's just like flopping around. This game must have been put into production like immediately because Billy, Billy went from geek to chic in like by, I feel like he stopped wearing his glasses somewhere in season 2, right? He's definitely not wearing them by season 3 because he doesn't wear them in the movie. Because David in real life doesn't wear glasses. I wonder if that's going to be a putty patroller. Oh, it was. And he just was like, can I not wear these anymore? And they were like, okay. But they went from those like thick ones to those like thin wire frames as he was getting like more and more in shape. I think he just was like, hi, I don't want to be portrayed this way. I mean, I can't imagine what it did for his personal life. Like, but I have met David Yost once. He was very nice to me. And then he was also in, so I grew up in a town next to Plymouth, Massachusetts. And I was at Plymouth, Massachusetts visiting home. And I'm standing there. I'd ran into a friend from high school who was a couple grades above me. And we were just chit-chatting. And I'm like, you know, kind of looking out at the water in downtown Plymouth. And like, oh, da, da, da. And then these two guys go to like cross in the intersection, which I'm like literally standing at the end of. And I'm like, as he's walking toward me, I'm like, I think it was my friend Kristen. I was like, Kristen, don't look directly at it. Don't make any sudden movements. But I believe that is David Yost, the original Blue Power Ranger. And he walked right by me, and I was like, yep, sure enough, it was. And I was too nervous to like say anything. So I like I did that thing where I tweeted, and I was like, oh my God, just saw David Yost and the Tyrant girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And it was like too embarrassed, you know, looked like he was in a rush, didn't want to stop him. And he was like, always stop me to say hi. I thought that was very nice. I thought that was, because I worry, you know. Also, should I morph? Oh. Don't worry, the game took care of it. Although that's not how they morph, but whatever. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine. Oh, got his power lance. Okay, now here's the part where I'm like, I don't know how to like, how do the people find secret moves in games? Like, there's gotta be, oh! Oh, I made a dinosaur. So, fun fact about me, my friend Kim and I both have, we have matching Power Ranger tattoos. I mean, obviously, I have, ooh, take this a hot second here to, I'm just going to pause it real quick, show you my Power Ranger tattoo if you didn't know I had it. One there. And then on my ribs, I have a pterodactyl that's in like a geodesic design, and my friend Kim has in the same spot, has a triceratops for me. And I was like, I'm so cool. Got this like little secret on my inside. Green putties. I am so excited for this 30th anniversary, because I think what's great is like, this is really the first time they've made something where it's not dependent on the current show. So you could literally just pop in and watch it, and I think it'll be accessible. And it looks like they're going to work in deep cuts for the fandom, as well as like being like, yeah, if you loved Power Rangers, like you remember it and you're like, oh, you want to watch this with your kids now, you can. And I think that's really cool. What are these like dinosaur things? Also, I don't know if I'm doing good or not. Oh, picked up a bench. Must be good. I feel like this chat's too quiet for me. It's making me nervous. I get it. Power Rangers is the niche fandom, and that's okay. I understand. But it was one of those things, like, I just loved it so much. Like, what I loved, I think what kept me going. First of all, I've talked about it before, but I genuinely think it doesn't get, like, I understand in the beginning it was a very, like, quick, cheesy, like, kind of a duct tape TV show, sort of almost similar, you know, like Star Trek or one of those type of shows where it was just, like, you know, a thin budget. You know, there's a lot of people, like, maybe didn't get it at the time, but it's one of those things. I think we're going to look back someday and, like, the way this show is made, I think is fascinating, but also, like, the way it was filmed, like, it changed. I loved, like, they had a full score, like, a music score that Ron Wasserman did that, like, was incredible. That, it was, like, it's on the border of, like, I consider it, like, this great, like, Power Rangers version of, like, a Pearl Jam album. But it's, like, so good. And the music is, like, genuinely good. Like, I will listen to it when I'm doing, when I run, or when I would run, like marathon, or run one marathon, half marathons, 5Ks, whatever, just running in general. That's me subtle bragging right there. But I think it's one of those things where we're going to look back and it'll just be like, wow, we didn't give this show like kind of the dues it deserved. And I also think like the first seasons, like the first 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, I think there is something very like, you can get a show, and I think when it's like cast just right, like a show, oh, Mrs. Skeleton, Bones is this character's name, I believe. But you can get like a show and it have just the worst cast and it brings it down, and it can be the worst show with a great cast. Like, I will maintain to this day that the New Girl, I think, there are episodes that are great, but I think oftentimes, especially in the later seasons, it is more awful than not. But the reason why it perseveres and why it stays, I think, in sort of a little bit of a cultural zeitgeist, is that it was one of those shows where it has great great comedic actors who have great chemistry together. And we watch it because it's just so good like that. Like, there is no other Schmidt, and like, I don't care how bad the episode is. I still love, Nick Schmidt. Like, I love, all those characters, and it's just, I think the Power Rangers, very oftentimes more than not, has a very charismatic cast involved. Oh man, this man fell apart. Oh, he's got no arms. He's got no arms, and he's hopping around like he's in Lord of the Dance or something here. But I do really believe that that's part of it. Like, I mean, who doesn't remember Amy Jo Johnson? That's the thing. Like, everybody will always say, like, oh, I remember who or whatever. My mom's favorite. My mom always be like, I remember Kimberly and I remember Billy, and but and Tommy, and God rest his soul. But it's one of those. Oh, he's spitting right on me. It's just. I think there was just something, they all work so well together, and also it's just like beautiful time capsule of what like the 90s is. I also think the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, which we will play that game soon, is I think it gets harsher critically. Like, if you go onto Rotten Tomatoes and what does the critics say and what does the average person say, I think it gets I think it will be it's looked back on with kinder eyes these days, because I think it actually genuinely, it is a kid's movie. Oh, this is important. 9847. Everybody remember that. 9847. Because it doesn't save. Hey, I beat a level without dying. Is this chat still? Oh my God, my chat thing wasn't scrolling up because I had scrolled up. I am so sorry. Oh, Kenny's rewatching the show on Netflix. I actually, when Jason David Frank unfortunately passed away, I did go to put it on to watch it again. It's a great show to watch if you're like going to walk on a treadmill or a bike or standing bike or something like that, where it's kind of like, sometimes it's like I need things where it's like I can't have something that's like too dramatic or too intense, but it's also one of those where it's very empowering because it's a lot of you don't want to, like, the reason why I listen to the music when I run, it's like you don't want to give up, right? Like, you can't give up while you're watching Power Rangers, so it like pushes you a little bit further. But also, like, the original show is funnier than I remembered it being, because like Bulk and Skull, I feel like, are really funny, so I do hope there's like a nod to them at the very least, or like a cameo. But I don't think it's even on Prime. If you are interested in watching seasons of the show that aren't in here, the official like Power Rangers YouTube channel uploads like an episodes of the show. Like, there are a couple seasons in their entirety that are on YouTube that you can watch for free. Like, yeah, there's going to be ads in them, so it's like you're watching it on TV, but it was free. So it's on there. I have most of this. I think I'm missing one season of the series, but I have the whole series. Whatever was released, I have, minus like one. But they didn't release Beast Morphers on a physical copy, and they haven't released any of Dino Fury yet. So I think I'm going to have to like buy a bootleg. Don't tell anybody. But I actually really enjoyed Beast Morphers as well. I thought that was very good. But Dino Fury is just one of those where like the music's good. The story unfolds in a very like, when I say mature, I mean like in terms of it being like, it recalls things from other episodes. And it's not like, oh, you only watch these 2 episodes. It's like little stuff. And even the filler episodes was all like leading to something. And then they like worked in other stuff. I'm just going to keep going with Billy because I feel like I'm having good luck with Billy. But yeah. So I'm going to play, I have this game. I have, today I'm just going to play this one. But I have the movie game too. And I have the fighting edition of this game, though I don't know that that's really for single players. I guess it kind of is. But can I morph? Do I have to? Do they like choose when I morph? No. Okay. Well, hold on. Is there like a morphing thing? I think I have to like get energy and then it lets me morph or something. Good Lord, I am not good at that stuff. completely forgot what I was saying. Oh, the movie game, and then I have like Zeo Racers or something like that. I literally have never played that game. So, I mean, I can confidently say I've seen every episode of Power Rangers from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers through, I think, Dino Thunder. I haven't seen every episode of SPD. I haven't watched like the last 6 episodes of that, but I was watching it in a row because I think I've seen all of Mystic Force too. But I have seen at the very least the first episodes and multiple episodes of seasons. Okay, well this feels rude. I always would like at least watch the very beginning to know like what was going on in the show. The problem is once I'm like moved to Orlando, ironically, even though at Disney they had character meet and greets for Power Rangers, the show was always like preempted a lot of times. So it was like kind of hard to watch sometimes when it was on like ABC, but then they would have the reruns on Jetix, so it was poorly handled. But I do like many of the Disney era shows, but those are the ones where I have to watch more of. I hated Samurai, so I've seen like basically the first episode of that and then like nothing else. And then I didn't really watch Ninja Steel because that also I felt like was aimed at like really, really little kids. If you were looking for a season of the show to like really watch, I would recommend RPM. Here's the thing. Power Rangers is at its greatest when it's on the verge of cancellation and no one's paying attention. So that's when like In Space came around. So they were like, you know what? If we're going out with a bang, and we're doing like this crazy story where like the Red Ranger sister is missing and they're in space and like it turns out she had been. Okay, you guys, I'm done with this. How do I do it? Keep punching him, I guess. All right, then I'll throw you. But anyway, it added like a dramatic element to it, and again, it took itself seriously, not in a way where it's not fun, because I don't want to say like, oh, too seriously, but it was like Star Trek meets Power Rangers, and I think that's really it started to really embrace that like universal like element to it, not universal, but sort of a galactic element to it. And then Lost Galaxy was so good too, because then it was like In Space basically saved the series, and then Time Force was like, oh my god, Time Force is like, it's between Time Force and In Space are like my favorites, but RPM is straight up like, I don't even think that show was made for kids. I think that show was made for like people in their 20s to 30, like in terms of it being like, yeah, it's still a kid's show, but like we know like 20 and 30-year-olds are watching this, so let's kind of make a show way more accessible for them. So that's like Terminator meets Mad Max, because it's like basically it takes place in an alternate universe where this like virus took over the world, like this not like a coronavirus, but like a computer virus. So it's like a Skynet thing took over, and there's only one city left on the planet that humans live in, called Corinth, and they have like 3 Power Rangers that basically protect the city. And the show starts from the perspective of the Black Power Ranger, because he basically is like this Mad Max character. He's like he comes to the city, you know, in this like car, and he basically can't remember like who he is. He doesn't have the powers in the beginning, come to find out he's like part machine, they find out, and so it's like he gets powers, and then this like kind of con man who wasn't a great person before the city. None of them were really like, well, most of them were good people, but except for the yellow one wasn't really. But and that's the whole thing, is it's this whole where like it's Power Rangers, like they being Power Rangers like saved them, you know, sort of a thing. But basically, it's this whole mystery of like, who is this guy who has no memory that's like this, and now he's a Power Ranger? And then in that series, it was this woman, Dr. K, was their like leader, but she was like a child prodigy that the government had put into captivity because she was so smart. They needed her to like build them like stuff that the governments and shows often do, and she all she did every year was, oh my god, the episode where they give her a backstory is honestly one of the best episodes of the entire series of Power Rangers, because it is, I'm gonna get emotional talking about it. It is so sad. It is like this young girl, because she's just so young, like just wanted to go outside. So every year they keep showing where she's like, what do you want for your birthday? And she's like, I want to go outside. And they're like, you can't go outside. Like, you're allergic to the sun. We can't let you go outside. You know, and like, I forget how it happens. Like, she snuck around and she found out she's not allergic. And every year she's just like, I just want to go outside. So you find out like she created the virus that essentially wiped out the world. But it's just so sad. And it's just one of those things, like, it's crazy. And like the way, it's also took a lot of like storytelling risks, because in that season the monsters like don't, other than like the monster, you know, the Rita, the one in charge, they don't speak in a language that you as the viewer can understand, because they're all supposed to be like embodiments of like computer viruses and stuff like that have taken like a physical corporeal form, and they speak in like computer like modem code, like, and stuff, unless they're like over a certain level. And I always thought that was so fascinating too. So there's like good dialogue and stuff. I don't know, but yeah, I would highly recommend that. And you do not have to have watched any seasons of Power Rangers ever, really, to watch and enjoy that show. But that one, I don't know where you can watch it, because like Netflix took a lot of the shows off. Like, they have Mighty Morphin on there still, and I think they just took Beast Morphers off. But they have all of Dino Fury on there, because Dino Fury is actually a Netflix exclusive, because I believe Netflix will be making the show. So I think after 30, who knows how much time we have left. I'm gonna pause here real quick. Gotta take a little sippy. I'm hoping the music is at least a little, like, Rafi, okay, I see you said that you love Mystic Force. So when Mystic Force started, I was very averse to capes. No capes, that's what I feel like. Because Power Rangers, they don't fly. They don't need capes. It's a weird thing. But, you know, I got over it after a while, whatever. And so I didn't really see it all when it's on. And I basically only had these, like, I thought they were behind me. But they were essentially like, they'd put out DVDs, and the DVDs would have like 5 episodes, and that was the only way I'd be able to like watch it all. So I think I kind of caught up. But that one had drama too, because then the Red Ranger, you find out, is not who he thought he was, and like he's got like an adopted mother, and there's like the mother's like on the good side, the father's on the bad side. And I remember that like being like, what? Like crazy reveals in that one. I'm such a nerd, and I really like it, but yeah, I just love Power Rangers. You know what I love about Power Rangers? I love that it can change. I love that it can be so many things. It can keep reinventing itself, and anybody can be a Power Ranger, you know? And I think there's something like kind of beautiful about that. Okay, gang, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. It says I have a bomb. You butt is the bomb. Oh. New element unlocked here. Okay, so we jump and grab, and then swing and jump. Ah. Don't you cut me. Don't you cut me. Don't you cut me. God. Like, I'm not saying that Nintendo... Oh, okay. So you can't jump up the purple ones. Okay. Billy, for somebody that's morphed, you're really not jumping that high. I love the idea of like what a video game program, they're all difficult, yeah, I'm 100% sure of that, but what a video game programmer's job looked like with 16-bit versus, or this is 32, right? No, this is 32, versus like what it looks like now when it's like the Unreal Engine that basically is like, we could possibly be living inside of one of those, and we just don't know. Not to get real scary and deep. Oh my god, I do love Dino Thunder, because I feel like Dino Thunder, not only does it have the return of Tommy, which is great, it didn't have to be Tommy, but, you know, Tommy is a very iconic Power Ranger, and I feel like that really sealed that legacy for him 100%. But, like, him coming back and being the Black Power Ranger in that, but also their, like, mentor, it just felt like, it felt so rewarding in terms of, like, the story coming full circle and stuff, and, I think the season as a whole is like it's such a beautiful, great homage to Mighty Morphin in a way that's still very uniquely its own. And that is a season where every character on that show is great. Like, the comedic relief is so good. The storylines are so good. I like all the Rangers, and I like how like there was like great character development. I'm definitely not gonna make it through this, just so everybody knows. I'm gonna probably. Fun fact, Nick, I see you in this chat in here. Nick gave me a bunch of Power Ranger toys, some of which are on display just in front of my face here that I can't look here. But Nick was one of the people who I was like, I feel very fortunate in my life to have had people. When I was a kid, I only had like a couple Power Ranger toys, and then it was like whatever I could kind of, I would like go through the couch to get like quarters and stuff to be able to buy the morphers when they came out, because they would be like $10 back then. And so I didn't have like a ton of Power Ranger toys, but as people stopped watching it, they were always very kind and like gave me like toys because they knew like I loved it so much. And so I've had like one person in my life who gave me like so much stuff that's like complete sets of figures and things like that. And then Nick was very kind, and he gave me like, I have a Tor now, which is the Turtle Zord from Thunder Zord. It was the Carrier Zord and Thunder Zord. Carrier Zord for the Thunder Zords in the second season of Power Rangers. He was their Titanus, which I never had, so he helped complete a set. But then also, he had a bunch of Time Force stuff, which is one of my favorite seasons ever. So all of that is in my, I have an area I call Precious Collections. And so, Nick gave me like, contributed to my Precious Collection set like immensely. So I want you to know that. I appreciate it very much, and thank you for that it wasn't one of those. Because you know, sometimes you get people, I feel like you get the eBay resellers, like, I get it though, we get in sticky situations sometimes, and sometimes we, you know, our opinions and love of things change, and we think like, oh, there's somebody out, maybe it'll bring somebody else more joy than it's currently bringing me, and you know, and that's okay. But you know, there's other people who are just trying to grab stuff for nothing and then sell it for like tons of stuff, which, like, you know, I get it. You're yard selling, you're doing whatever, fudge, that sort of stuff. You know, you're bargain hunting. That's all right, but then, like, you know, those stores are gonna like start charging more for that. So now you've like kind of taken that whole fun aspect out of it, and like, I don't know. It's just, I'm always conflicted on that. Like, I prefer, like, when my friend told me this story once where he was like, when he was a little kid, he loved Power Rangers Zeo so much, and he had the, like, Zeo Morpher at one point, and he was like, it was just the coolest thing ever, but my mom like gave it away, and I never had it, and you know, and here we are years later, and it's like, he's like, I still think about it and stuff. And Bandai was still, Power Rangers was still a Bandai at the time, and they had just done a lightning or whatever they called it, legacy collection of the, Jesus, it's hard to figure out how to do this, of the Zeonizer, which is their morpher, and I had ordered I had two in my possession by accident. Okay, so I think I have to like move over on this and then jump up. What the French toast, baby? What the okay, F words are starting to come out. Okay, so this, I'm pressing a drop button, so jump up. How do I get up? I can't even do it right now. Something's going on. Something's going on. We need to talk about Kevin. Okay. I didn't realize you only push the up button. I was pushing up and B, so I'm an idiot. Well, that just made my life 1,000 times better. And anyway, I was gonna just like return it, or that was something where when I list things on eBay like that, I always list them for like what I got them for, because I think to myself, like, okay, there's somebody out in some part of the world that doesn't have access to be able to even go to the store to get this, so I'm just like basically putting it online for them. Oh, just free falling. And so I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna make $1 million. Like, yes, it does go up. You know, there's natural bidding and things like that. Should be natural selection, am I right? But I was going to put it on eBay and just be like, all right, I just want the like $50 back that I got. But he told me the story, and I was so moved by the story that I like just came over the next day and I was like, hey, I have this for you. But I do bet that son of a bitch sold it or just threw it away or something like that after, because he moved recently, and I was like, okay, we got to jump. Okay, new power unlocked here. Okay. But I'm hoping they still have it. I don't want to ask because I'm too like, oh, I got, you know, I'm that guy sometimes who brings a lot of plastic in people's lives who are just not, who are very simple people. You can ask my friend Kim. No! $3847. 3847. We got to remember that password. Okay. I'm going to do Kimberly. Okay. Bye, Nick. Thank you for joining. Always a pleasure. Tell the family I say hello. Oh my God. I'm so far behind now. I'm back outside. They put her outside. It's because she's a woman, isn't it? God. Kimberly was so, like, Kimberly could be like wearing, not to be like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, blah, 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 but Kimberly's fashion, I don't know. There's just something. Remember she had always had those like stretchy shorts too, and I was like, God, those shorts are so cool. I want those shorts. Like, she could wear anything. She could do anything. She could dress anyway. She was like, she was it. I'm so happy they moved away from her being like, kind of the, I know in the beginning she was supposed to be like the California girl, like, what am I supposed to do about like my hair and makeup and stuff, but like that's what I love about Kimberly is that like when we really got to know her, the thing that always appealed to me about Kimberly was her parents were going through a divorce when they had that episode, and I was like, wow. I was like, my parents are divorced. And so it was one of those where I was like, I don't know, there's stuff like that where you're like, it's nice to see yourself or like people from that part of you, that part of life, like, because I remember being a little kid and everyone always been, oh, your parents are divorced. I'm like, yeah, they've been divorced since I was like 2. And I prefer it this way because it's like, I can only handle one parent at a time. Like as if I'm parenting them. And, girl, she is powering. Good Lord, this girl is on fire. But they'd always have this look. So like when it was Kimberly, I was like, oh, cool. Kimberly's parents are divorced. Like, I don't know. And that's why, like, 30 years later, I didn't think I'd be as emotional, but there is a gay Power Ranger on the show now, finally. And she had, like, a coming out episode. And it was just one of those where I'm like, I was freaking bawling my eyes out. Like, it was handled so well. It wasn't just like, oh, it's Power Rangers. But they did it so well. And it wasn't just like, oh, this one episode and done. Like, there's a lot more to the story with her and the girlfriend that is, like, is kept up over time. And bravo. They did such a good job. It's I can't even imagine what it'll mean to somebody out there. And they also had this episode about Special Olympics this season too that I thought was like so good too, which was nice. They had a Special Olympics athlete in the show that was great. I don't know. I love that. Why do people all want just vanilla ice cream? Don't you want to try all the flavors? That's what I think in like storytelling, in terms of Friends, in terms of all that. It's all got to come back to Power Rangers, right? When I watch Power Rangers, I was always like, yeah, that's what the world looks like. That's what it should look like, right? Like different people, different places, different looks, different colors, different everything. And you're like, that is what the world is. Thank you, everybody, for putting the continue code in here. Yeah, I know. The game said misogyny out loud. I remember that troll from the show, too. It's funny. Oh, she uses a... Oh, no, she's hitting them with the... Oh, my God. She is straight up, like, whipping them with her bow. Girl, get it. I remember I used to have to watch the shows, like, before I'd get on the bus for school in the morning. Because I think this started in 93, like I said. But I feel like... Yeah, it would have been, like, 3rd grade. Because I was in 3rd grade in, like, 1993. Or I was in 3rd grade in the fall of 93, and it started in August. So yes, I was in 3rd grade when this started. And I remember there was like an episode with a toad. I've seen it before, so I'm not, but I'm not enough to be like, I know the names of every monster. Like I know the names of all the main monsters, like Goldar, Rita, Rito, Lord Zed, like Master Vile, Squat and Babu. I'm not an idiot. I mean, not to say that if you don't know that, you're an idiot, but you know what I mean. Are there like codes in here? So I think if it's like forward down, she like shoots the bow, or down. Oh, hello. Girl. I was wasting those. Freaking Billy. I could have made dinosaur things all the time. I completely forgot what I was saying. It's fine. It really wasn't relevant. You are bored? Get out of the chat. You're banned. Anyone? What's wild to me is I remember when I was working at Disney and someone in the college program was like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and I forget, they said how old they were, but I was like, so Power Rangers was like, you were born and Power Rangers were in the world. That's wild to me. Because it's weird that, like, I still think about them, like, and I honestly think, they think about them as like, oh, these are a new group of superheroes. We're like, no, they've been around for 30 years now. Like, so many people who have watched it, like, grew up, had kids, and they are not even watching, wouldn't even have been watching the original show. Those people, like, it's just Power Rangers has always existed, and it's just wild to me. And I love that. I don't know. I love it because I love that this little thing I love endured so much. Because it's like pure. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I think it's more good than bad. And I also don't think it gets the credit it deserves, because everybody still thinks about like the first 15 episodes of the show that, like, yes, they were not as, like, they weren't, it was a little more like crazy and weird and goofy because they hadn't settled in that, like, okay, now we know how to adapt the storylines of the footage that we're looking at and how we can match it. Because the first couple episodes, watch them, they are wild. Like, there's one with a mini spaceship and stuff, and it makes literally no sense. There's just all of a sudden a giant knight who, like, goes to pick them up, and you're like, what? 1995, Brandon, you were born in the year of the movie. Good Lord, Raffi, how old are you? Kimberly. I like how I said Kimberly. You and I get to decide our own age at this point. Kentucky Kim. What are we drinking, Kim? Are you having any drinks? Raffi, you are old enough to drink, right? Oh, now Kimberly's got that. Kimberly is like a woman with shoulder pads. Kimberly is who I want to be. I honestly, though, I someday am gonna stomach up the courage to talk to Amy Jo Johnson and be like, hi, I admire so much about your career. It's not just that you're the Pink Power Ranger, which, like, yes, is obviously the thing that got you, you know, gave you access in the field. But, like, I love that she went from actress, like, did what she wanted to do. She sang. You know, she was like, you know what, I want to, so she writes, she directs. She said she doesn't consider herself an actress anymore, and she does not read for parts or go out for stuff like that. So the only chance we have in terms of her ever acting again is if Power Rangers could get their crap together. And I try to keep it PG-13, so I'm trying not to swear. But if Power Rangers or Hasbro or somebody could get their, like, act together and give her what she deserves, I'd love to see her direct an episode. She said she'd play Rita sometime too. That would be great. Oh my God, what if she's a Rita in the thing? She's not. It's a Robo Rita. But somebody has to be the body, right? Barbara Goodson's doing that voice again. I don't know. Everyone's got a different Power Ranger story, but I just think Power Rangers is important, and people didn't act like it was important for so long that, like, it just gets kind of this scoff. And I was like, I don't know. I like it better than, like, Superman. I like Superman. I like Spider-Man. But Power Rangers are my superheroes. They're my Superman. They're my Spider-Man. They're my superheroes. I don't know. And they're the things I see myself the most in, I think. Maybe that's part of it. It's sort of like how, it's sort of how, I paused because I just want to catch up on the chat a little bit. Oh, don't you worry, Kenny. We're going to talk about that 2017 movie in just a hot second here. You're turning 24 this year. Well, right now, just a strawberry lemonade and a hard cider. I'm having this beer right now. I think maybe later I'm going to do I don't know. I'm going to make a drink. I think I'm going to do a gin drink later. I'm looking through my cocktail book. I have to answer a text message really quick. I'm so sorry. Bear with me. But anyway, yeah, my friend said, I love this game, but it was poor graphics. Oh, Nicole said she loved the game too. Hold on. My friend was like, I want to go to this brewery, but I was like, no, I can't go till like 6. I know it's like 5:20. I'd have to leave here at like 5:30 to do that. So that's not happening. But, so he says he has to leave to go pick food up at like 7. I don't want to go to a brewery for 20 minutes. I don't think I'm going to make it. I hope he's not watching this. Okay, I'm still doing the live stream. And I don't want to go for like 20 minutes. I mean, I do want lime though. There's a place called Lime in Lake Eola, but it's so good. Anyway, I don't know if you want to do something. If you want, I was trying to get him to do this live stream with me. He's my friend Ken, who did the Power Rangers podcast with me, which isn't really over. Girl, Kim, if we could do a cookie butter infused bourbon, I would be all over it. Okay, so here's the thing. If you guys haven't watched, there's a show on Netflix called Drink Masters, if you're like cocktail people, which is really cool. But all the drinks they make, I'm like, I'll never be able to make this. But I've seen this thing pop up a lot that's called like fat washing, or like doing this thing to bourbon where you like wash it a certain way. I don't know what it means, but it changes the flavor. And I am very intrigued about trying this. So I told myself, my goal this year, I'm going to read through both of those books cover to cover. I mean, one of them is essentially like a recipe book to learn about. I want to become an expert in cocktail making. I'm not saying I want to be like bartender certified. I don't think I could handle the pressure. I mean, I did used to manage a Seattle's Best, but I think bar is a different animal, 1,000%. But I don't know. I've got ideas. I've got ideas I want to do. I wish there was other people around who could like. I love my friends here. I have some amazing friends here, but other people, it's like, I went to UCF and I wanted to make movies, and I was amazed at UCF how many people were in the film program that didn't want to make movies. And I sometimes feel like that I've surrounded myself with an incredibly talented, super smart, intelligent people that sometimes I'm like, I want to, not mine for profit, but I want them to use their skills in the world. And sometimes I feel bad because I feel like I'm sort of that friend who's always like, well, let's do this creative project. Let's do this creative. That's why I love my friend RJ. That's why he and I were like, boom, instant, really good friends, is because RJ has to be edited. RJ has to give me the pep talk to get me to do the thing. And he's the opposite. He will make anything that he dreams of a reality. And it is such a superpower and a talent that's incredible. If you don't follow his cooking things, RJ's Food Rocks. It's just, he's so good. And he's so funny. And he's like the nicest person. Just one of those people where it seems like talent comes so easily. So I'm sometimes like jealous. But like, I'm glad that we met because he can make that sort of thing like happen. And so I have other friends, like my friend Amber writes sometimes. Well, she used to, and I mean, she had kids, but that doesn't mean she doesn't write. But I always am like, I'm trying to like hint, being like, do you want to write something together? Because I'm not really a good writer. I come up with ideas. I like writers. And then my friend Kim is probably the smartest. in my life, if I were to say who are the two smartest people I would say my grandma and Kim. But Kim, I think that my friend Kim is just like, she is like, so in like everything, if you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, the daughter, the character, like the thing that the daughter is, Kim is like that. She, in terms of like knowledge, she just has this ability to be able to just like soak in knowledge about so many things. And I always say, and I feel bad, is that I think sometimes she speaks, she'll never make you feel stupid. That's the best part about it. But I also feel like sometimes she talks and it's like, she thinks that people don't want to hear what she has to say. And I hate that if she would ever feel like that, because I'm like, I think that I would listen to you. I would sit and listen to you like an audiobook every day of my life. Like, I don't know. I'm fascinated by every little wealth of knowledge you hear. Even when it's something I couldn't care less about, I am always like, I don't know. She's just got a way about telling it that you're just like, God, you make me feel sane. You make me feel so many things. I don't know. It's just crazy. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, always want to be like, well, I'm going to harvest that power. I'm going to be your Captain Planet. I am going to let you use those rings, and we are going to figure out how we can make Captain Planet happen. So TBD. She doesn't know it yet, but I want to do a podcast with her someday. But I want to do it when I like live near her again, so that we can do it in person and do like videos and everything like that, because she's just one of those people where I just, it happens to so many, where just so many people undervalue smart people, intelligent people, and it's like, I don't know. It's messed up. I don't know. Okay, do what you love. Find something you love and you're passionate about and you think you're good about. It's just hard. It's hard. I think Kim knows so much about beer, and I want to do a thing where it's like about women in beer, because I listened. She did a podcast once on this like Milwaukee food thing that I thought was one of the most incredible things I've ever listened to and fascinating stories I've ever heard. And I was just like, I would have listened to a podcast just about this, Rafi, you're incredibly talented when it comes to makeup, and I love watching your reels when you put them on Instagram and stuff like that. So if you're not following Rafi, who's in the chat right now, I'd say like that. It's like something else. It's something so different. That's what I love about it, is like you took it and you made it your own. Because when I was younger, and Kim can attest to this, I loved doing like special effects makeup, and I got into that like later in life, not later in life, but like post high school sort of. But the internet wasn't what it was. So like anytime I found a book, I'd be like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And I remember once I would do a lot of like community theater and things, and I was the Grinch in something, and I was like, well, we have to make the costume. And so Kim and I like one cold December night went and spray painted a Grinch costume. I mean, I think Kim was with me. It might have been Cameron. My friend Cameron, but I'm pretty sure it was Kim, because I was like, oh, I'm doing this play, I just got to go hang this thing and spray paint it. And we went into the shed that I had like rebuilt in my backyard that used to be like a fried dough shack at Evil Railroad. And I spray painted this like rabbit costume that the high school had given me to be green, and we didn't open the window. And I remember being like, well, here we are, high as a kite. So it's just one of those things where you gotta practice, because you're gonna F it up, but you need those people in your life who are gonna let you F it up with them, so you can laugh about it, but then you keep going. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I feel like I'm scared that other people, or us in general, anybody who's ever had that support system, don't let that like crumble, and don't be afraid to keep doing that. I think. Someday I would love to make a horror movie, special effects makeup, like blood squirting, werewolves turning, like ripping thing. Because when I watched Gremlins when I was a kid, it used to always fascinate me. The Gremlins, they're physical puppets, but then also like they would cut like Billy and like stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. It's so cool. So I think if nothing else comes from anything that I do, I hope that people will just watch it and be like, if that idiot can do it, everybody can do it. And I just want people to be able to do that. And I think that's also the part about I think film is such a limiting term. When I used to think film was so unreachable, but I also think like storytelling is so encompassing. Like I remember telling my aunt I was going to go to school for film, and like I remember her being like, but what are you going to do with that? You know, only so many people get in a film. What are you going to do if you don't do it? And I remember saying like, well, I don't know. There's this website that just started called YouTube. And I was like, I don't know, but there seems like there's going to be something that happens with that, you know. And I was like, it feels like there's going to be a shift in terms of like people and the power and what they have. And then my aunt's son, my aunt's son, my cousin is my godson. He is now, I think, one of the most talented people in terms of film I've ever seen in my life, and I think he will be very successful in whatever he does. I mean, he is working right now. He just graduated, but he has been blowing me away since he's been doing films when he was like little short movies when he was like 8 years old with a little flip camera you could plug into the computer. And I'm just like, how did you do that, Cameron? How did you do it? How do you see that like that, you know? So the only thing with Cameron is that sometimes artists, I think, sometimes lock themselves into a very one thing that they are like, this is me, I'm this thing. And I'm like, I want to be everything. I want to just keep doing it. I don't know. I'm on a tirade. I was really just vamping because my thumbs hurt. So I'm just trying to do it. But my dogs are barking. I don't know how much time we have left in the stream. Yeah, Face Off was cool. Face Off had a thing at Halloween Horror Nights Tori once, and I thought it was just like the coolest thing ever. It was one of the big ones. But Kenny, before I die, I want to be in a horror movie and be the final girl. Yes, girl, yes. Oh man, the Xenomorph one, Rafi, would be so cool. But yeah, I just think Kentucky Kim. I didn't know that you like to do zombie makeup. That was what I used to start with. I would make my friend Simon at the time. I just found like all my old pictures of it and stuff like that. And I'd be like, my friend Steven used to let me do it. And I'd be like, can I just like rip your cheek out or something? I love that stuff. Kim is still, I almost banned Kentucky Kim by accident. Kim was watching, so she's heard all the nice things I said about her. I can say the nice things about you when you're not in the room, but it's very difficult for me to say it to people's faces because you can tell I'm already emotional about it. But yeah. Anyway, I think maybe one of the things too that draws me to like this YouTube experience is like, you know, if you guys have Twitter or any really social media, all of it can be such a toxic place. And I mean, it's funny because I feel like YouTube used to be the toxic place. Would be like those trolls on YouTube that are like, blah, blah, blah. Like Pete Holmes says a funny thing about it. Where it's like, rotten hell, Mom, where are the pickies? But you can make these connections with these other people and like form these communities and this sort of thing. I don't know. It can make you feel some sort of way. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just like, I don't know that I want anyone like looking for it or watching it, but I did do, I used to do like the 48-hour film festival that they did in Orlando. And the one year I did one and it was nominated. It was nominated for an award that year. They all screened in the theaters. So I had my first one ever, and Kim, my friend Kim, was in it. And that one did. You know why I'm so happy we did that one, even if it didn't come out like amazing, was because it was the first thing I had maybe ever like made beginning to end where it wasn't like at a community television. It wasn't at a thing. It was just something else I'd done. And I don't know. I just thought I'm gonna do it. And then I did one that was called Killer Party, and it was about basically this uptight guy that thinks his roommate is a werewolf. So the thing with the 48-hour film festival is they give you like the genre of. So that year it was they give you the genre. You don't know what it is till you get there, but they give you a genre, a character, a line of dialogue, and a prop that all need to appear in the film. And so I got Holiday and Door-to-Door Salesman, and I got something about a purse. Or purse was the prop, and then I can't remember the line of dialogue, but we wrote a thing where I was like, okay, I want it to be a Halloween movie because, you know, I love Halloween. And I was like, I think it would be fun if we made some sort of like thing where this guy just like thinks his roommate's a werewolf the whole time and then like, you know, whatever. So we made it, and like it's embarrassing because it's me and the other guy that I was working on it with are in it, and I'm the werewolf. Well, like the roommate I remember the original idea was the uptight roommate was like afraid of his friend, and the whole idea was that the uptight roommate started to think that he was being turned into a werewolf, that he was. And really, I should have just had it been the angle where it's like he thought the roommate was the werewolf, and then it turned out he was a werewolf or something like that. Anyway, the twist was the roommate really was a werewolf. But we did this part where the werewolf gets like shot in the head, and I remember it took us like 15 tries to do this, where like I had to tilt my head back just right with the camera outside, and someone threw Jello at the window. So we had to keep like washing it down, keep redoing it, keep throwing the Jello, and it looked all right. But then we got nominated for an award for Best Physical Effect. So I was like, okay. And then I did another movie called, it was a short film called Last Man on Earth, which I feel like the Fox television show owes me money because their pilot episode is incredibly similar to mine. The twist is just slightly different. But, yeah, I love that stuff. I do think about remaking Killer Party because I think the bones of a good idea is there. I love the idea of a duality of man, like the man versus beast, and like uptight versus like a messy roommate. I love that conflict everywhere. But it has to be a queer character at the center of it, because I think the whole thing is the roommate thinks like one thing and he's just like, dude, this is my boyfriend. Like, I don't know, something like that. I want like some fun, ridiculous twist. Anyway, back to the game, back to Kimberly. Another Kimberly, as if there weren't enough in my conversations at this point. Oh, gosh. But yeah. Dreams, baby. I do have yeah. I have ideas. I have ideas. Oh, no. Sometimes I just don't think I have the faith in myself to believe ideas are good ideas. But sometimes you can be the only person that thinks you have a good idea. You know you have a good idea. No one believes in you. And it turns out it is a good idea. It's just no one has the vision like you, you know? And that goes for everything. That doesn't go for like, I'm not just talking about like movies and books and writing or whatever. I'm just talking about, you know, we talked about Rafi in the chat here. He does the makeup. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's probably got an idea and people are like, why? Why are you doing that? I don't get it. And I always try to tell like my mom or somebody else, and I'm like, all you have to do is say, I don't understand, you know, but I think it's cool, you know, or something like that's. It's such a simple way to be supportive of people, even when you might not even like what they're doing or whatever. But it's just one of those things where you're like, I just think, you know, do what makes you happy, despite everybody else. Not despite everybody. You know, if you're not hurting anybody, who cares? Come on, Kimberly. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the end of this level, wherever it is, to fight that troll. I feel like that's the metaphor of the whole conversation we've had, but, Rafi, you and Trey should hang out on Trey's next, if he takes a Walt Disney World trip. He's coming down on solo trips all the time, connected with peeps. There you go. I'm gonna be the matchmaker from like Fiddler in the Roof. Matchmaker. I could never. Yeah, I'm telling you, Andrea, the Super Nintendo was like the best investment I've ever made. Like, it was one of those where like I think one of my cousins took my original Super Nintendo, so I was like, I'm always gonna be forever like bitter about it. Oh yeah, this guy. No, he got me with his. What is that even called? Polka machine? That feels too sexual. What? Xylophone? No. What's the squeezy thing? Also, can this blast him with my pterodactyl power? Yeah, suck it. You ding-dang troll. I think I got like 2 more of those where that came from. Oh. Oh! Oh, of course, she throws the... Okay, alright, girl, just don't stand there and look at that thing. He's gonna hit you with his hoe. He's your pimp. Oh, she did. Well, Andrea, if you ever make that big move to Orlando or anything like that, there's a couple of retro video game stores around here. You can always get yourself another system. I think Cybertron is the one that's like the more decently priced, but there's another one called Gamers Inc. that's very good. And you can find systems there for usually pretty like on par. But you know they work. That's the thing. You know what I mean? It's the tricky part when you buy them on eBay or Mercari or something like that, and you're like, I don't know, someone's grandma is selling this. Where the Super Nintendo, my Super Nintendo used to live, at my grandma's house. So I could play it after school. At school! I'm gonna knife you, baby. Keep coming over here. Keep coming over here. See what happens. With your jellyfish boots. And your weird instrument. Guys, what is that instrument? Good Lord, I cannot think of it right now. John Candy plays it in Home Alone. It's like in Lady and the Tramp. They're playing it while they eat the spaghetti. The big guy does it. Okay, this is never gonna end. Okay, I gotta figure out, because I'm just smashing buttons, there is a way that she shoots that bow. Oh, you know what episode I think this guy is actually from? It is a Kimberly-based episode. That's funny. It's Kimberly's like cousin or friend is deaf, and so everyone gets hypnotized except for the deaf girl, and the deaf girl is the one that helps the Power Rangers figure it out. And I seen that recently, and I think Amy Jo Johnson really was doing sign language and that stuff. You know, sometimes it's like anybody does the fake who speaks Spanish in a movie, and you're like, that's not real. They don't really know how to speak Spanish. Accordion, here we are, baby. Clarinet. No. Accordion. Accordion to you. Boom, nailed it. All right, Kimberly, we need you to bring out those arrows, baby. I'm in that mode now where I'm calling everybody baby. Accordion, aka the polka machine. We're gonna stop this monster. What do you think you are, Steve Martin? Doesn't Steve Martin play? No, Steve Martin plays banjo. What is wrong with me? Steve Martin is an American treasure. Worked at Disneyland when he was underage. Oh, didn't know I could slide through those. Oh, she just threw an arrow, baby. It's interesting they don't use their blade blasters at all. Also, this is the time really where you didn't start upgrading powers. Oh, she shot him with that arrow. She got him. Yeah, go ahead. Try and play it. Try and play a tune. See what happens. Gang, I think we're gonna have to use a to be continued code. Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know that I'm gonna. Ooh, David's coming back for Halloween Horror Nights. Perfect. I love going with you guys this year. Okay, 3847. I think that's gonna take me back outside, so I'm taking a picture so I don't forget it for next time. Because my goal is I want to rotate through the games, but I also want to keep playing the games. So let me just go through the chat a little bit more here before we go and mute the game there. I don't know if Steve Martin was a magician at Disneyland, because I was listening to one of his books on tape, and he talks about it, and I know he worked at a cart outside, and I know that his stuff is in the magic shop, so he must have been doing that. But yeah, same number, so it must be outside. Accordion, thank God for all of you. Do you know sometimes when a word just has left your brain and you know the word left your brain, where you were it used to be in my brain, but now it's not in my brain? That was what happened. Oh yeah, that's true. Girl, you could bring that. You could be bringing that the Super Nintendo on the road with you. I mean, it's easy enough. It's not like it weighs anything. But yeah, I don't. Also, you could get one of these. I think. Okay, so I should have just got it. There was. So this is the Super Nintendo Classic, and they had a Nintendo Classic there, and it was $100, which is how much they were when they came out. So really, that's not bad considering they're they don't make them anymore. And I should have got that, because that one would work way better than any Nintendo I'd ever be able to buy. Because a Nintendo brand new, you still had to blow on it and slam the sides of it. God, don't tempt me with a Saturday night. But yeah. My friend sent me kind things, so I'm just reading through that really quick so I could be really emotional at the end here. She's also making fun of me. I don't know the word accordion. That's fine. Oh yes, David, we have to go to if you do like this like 90s 80s aesthetic. There's a bar in Orlando called One Up Orlando that's really good that I enjoy. They have a wonderful selection of themed drinks, fun photo op areas that I wanted to take my friend Kim with when she was here. So she's going to have to come back at least one more time. So she has to come back. Even if I move this year, she's going to have to come back this year at some point because we got to go. We got to go there. But also, she got to help me move. But yeah, One Up Orlando is great. I really like it. I actually just met their social media manager, and she's like so nice. And she works at Ivanhoe Brewing as well. So if you haven't been there, Ivanhoe Brewing has some really good beers, and they're in a pretty part of Orlando, and I would highly recommend it. But yeah, also Cocktails and Screams I really like too, because obviously Halloween bar. Come on. The TikToks again. God, Tori. Okay, the games that I'm like, there's such random games we had. There was like a Spider-Man game that was like infuriatingly impossible I had when I was a kid. I'm definitely gonna have to play that. I need to. All right. Next GoFundMe I'm starting is for an original Nintendo. I'm just kidding. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled for one, but I'm not moving anywhere specifically, Brandon. I'm just saying in general. It's just I'm manifesting a move. I'm hoping that something new, something different, something cooler weather, which also in my mind is like, oh God. Yeah, I know, no kidding. Packing up that room sounds like a nightmare. I am going to pay whatever it takes to get somebody else to come in and pack stuff, but I know I'll have to do all the stuff myself. But I am trying to start the process of like kind of decluttering and like doing stuff. So I was saying in my last live stream where I was like, I think I might start like a Patreon and make it like just a couple of tiers, like 2 or 3 tiers, but like everybody who's a Patreon member, I'm thinking we'll do like monthly giveaways or like maybe even bi-monthly giveaways. So that way it's like 2 times a month. But you know, I've got some like, I got a couple of like the Loungefly like mini bags that were like given to me and, stuff like that where it's like, I could sell them, but I was like, I bet there's somebody out there that'll make happy. And I'm like, if you could be in like a $5, $10 or like a $15 tier and win one of those, you know, that's normally like, I don't know, $85 or something like that. Some crazy, I know. I did also get a Power Rangers Loungefly the other day and I love it. It's downstairs, right? Show it to you. But, yeah, I'm thinking about doing something like that, and then something maybe where I could like make paintings with people, so it would be like being held accountable for like having a creative thing. So like once a month we could do like a fun character giveaway because you know I like to paint like Max from Goofy Movie or Powerline or you know, just random cartoon characters. I love doing a good Bob's Burgers. I actually got a cease and desist about Bob's Burgers art once, which is insane because it was literally a mashup. I did a poster, not a poster, but I did like a hand painted print where it was Bob and like Linda was a silhouette in the back, but it was supposed to be like for Archer, but it was all the Bob's Burgers characters, and they were like, don't do this anymore. So Kimberly Scott, Cocktails and Screams, I don't know why I'm saying everything in that weird cadence, but is a Halloween bar that's in downtown Orlando. They also have an extensive drink menu that's very good. When I was in Milwaukee, did I visit Up Down Arcade Bar? No. I didn't even know. Wait, maybe I did know. Maybe I did know. Maybe I've been told about that and I just don't listen very well. So that's a definitive add it to my list, Kim. We're going. I should do the stream where I just like go through a beer, but some days, you know, that beer's gone in a second. Yeah. Atlanta. Yeah. Yep. My poster, I did switch out my poster, so now we're in the piggyback. This is chapter 9. I think the one I'm going to do after this one is going to be, I can't remember the name of the episode now. But the poster is like 11 is upside down, and it's like the rainbow room behind her. I got that one, and then I also have another poster where it's the one with like the hands coming through, and the Demogorgon is like eating the person. So I have so many Stranger Things posters. So this one's staying up till at least, I think, March 1st. I think it was, I told myself either I was going to rotate through every month or every other month, but there were 6 posters, so to go through them all. But now there's like a 30th anniversary Power Rangers poster that I haven't been able to find anywhere, but they said was going to be for sale. And it's like a gorgeous, like this pop art, so colorful print that I want it. I would love to have that. It doesn't have to be here. Like, I can just save it for when I'm actually going to have room, because I have all this Power Ranger stuff. Like, I want to give it the respect it deserves. But yeah, I've got to find that. So that's the hard part. I've locked myself into Stranger Things stuff now too. But here's the thing. I one day maybe drank. It was like probably tired and drank and didn't eat correctly, so I was feeling a little bit. And I must have ordered a lot of Funko Pops from Entertainment Earth, because they keep coming. And I'm always like, So I just got this like Robin one, which is pretty cute, because she's got her hold on. Product showcase mode. She's got her like little board. I think this was so cute. But I know there's a Steve in his outfit coming too to go with this one. I basically have a Steve now from like every season, I think, because I got Steve with the bat. I got Steve with the axe. I mean, Steve with the Scoops Ahoy and Steve with the bat. So I have the most Steve Harrington Pops, I think. But I didn't have any Funko Pops, and now I have like, there's 11 right here with the waffle and the bloody nose, and then I've got the Eddie. Eddie was the first Pop I had, and I got lucky. Like he was just online randomly, and I was like, that Pop's cool. And that episode hadn't come out yet, and I was like, I bet this is going to be an important episode. So I was like, I got it because I have his vest and the shirt, and so I was like, yeah. And this ended up being like the rarest Pop for the thing, but I just got lucky. But I also got this. Oh wait, they're all behind me. I got Steve and Robin when they're in their military outfit. I mean, like, because, hello, Robin's got a little beret. How can you not? These things are just so cute. I got an Argyle, because basically I want every character, but like in a version where it's very clearly like, oh, that's that character. And then so for Will's character, but I only want one of every character, except for obviously Robin and Steve are the exclusions, I think, here. So I got this cool one of Will that's like this, but it's got I don't need to keep this in the box. I just have it in the box right now. But the other half of this is a freaking Demogorgon with the rest of the alphabet, the couch. So I was like, I need that connecting Demogorgon on here. But I'm waiting for it to go on sale, because like, look on the top, like there's lights up there. I love these ones that are like the scenes. I think those are so cool. But yeah, like my box was like crushed when it came in, but I don't want to keep them in the box. They're just all like in the boxes right now because I don't have like the proper display for them. Like I don't need to, because I'm like, I love Stranger Things. I also got a Vecna one that's way up there, but yeah. I don't like them all. Kim Bell, you have a Funko Pop that's been ordered for you that for some reason isn't going to get there for like 2 weeks. But it was my like, I've got her send her stuff right now. And then it didn't mail. So it might be our favorite pointy-eared eyeshadow wearing Vulcan. Because, yeah, I'm crazy. Bye, Trey. Have fun at the mall. Or were you making a joke because you live near the mall from Stranger Things? Oh, you're at the mall. But yeah, Kim, there's a Spock Funko Pop that's going to be coming your way at some point. I wanted the Kirk one too, which you will get at some point. But the Kirk one for some reason was like was actually very expensive. But the Spock one, I was like, oh, that's a deal. I'm getting it. And he's got the eyeshadow. That's why I got it, because he had the eyeshadow. Plus, I know how much you love Spock. So, yeah, he's headed your way. Guys, there was a Spock Build-A-Bear at one point, because in my Googling of things to send my friend Kim Spock-related things, and he had, like, little eyebrows, and he did this. I'm going to find it. I'm going to get him at some point. But, yeah, because Kim's on a Star Trek journey right now. She'd never seen all those movies. I bet there's Star Trek video games. There should be Star Trek video games. She even asked me that, and I was like, I don't think there's, like, good ones, though. I don't know if there was anything good, but... David, I did go to the LA, the Funko Pop store in Hollywood on my trip in August when I went to my Power Rangers convention. And on the other side of the room, I'll actually go get it. Sorry, hold on. Okay, we're gonna have to end this soon because I'm starting to have to do that. You know, I had a beer. Now I'm gonna have to pee soon. Yeah, I said it. I have me, but the problem was they were out of so many parts that I had to order a beard in this gray color that I still have to paint black now with a Sharpie. But he look, he's got a oh no. Did it fall out of his hand? I gotta be honest with you, the quality of the like build your own Funko Pops were not it. My friend left and he had 2 left arms on his. Yeah, see, he dropped it, but there's a camera in there. You can't really see, but mine has a little camera he was holding and it's on his foot now. Rude. Anyway, I'll be able to pick that up. But yeah, they like were out of so many outfits and everything like that. But I feel like that was me. It's like red, jeans, and high tops. So yeah. Brandon, I feel like I should get on Letterboxd, right? Like, I don't know. I gotta be better about that. I'm not good at being like, I'm a movie critic. I just have my opinion about a movie. But it doesn't mean I'm right. Sometimes I worry that like in that sort of movie community, people are very much like my opinion matters and no one else's. And like, I don't think Letterboxd is like that necessarily, but it's also a nice way to keep track of what you've seen, I think. But yeah. Okay. I do have to go now because I gotta go. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and I hope you're all doing well. And we'll do this again soon, maybe tomorrow. Look for a video tomorrow, I think, because if you're watching this on Saturday or Sunday. So I appreciate all of you so much for listening to me just like go on and play games with me and everything like that. You've all been wonderful. You're all so supportive, and I hope I can be supportive for you as well. So thank you everybody. I hope you're doing well, like I said, and I'll see you soon. Bye.